Guys, welcome back to Choose Your Own Path. Today we are going to make our Rancor diorama. Show you what we got done. The Rancor is done. The articulation is only in the hands. I glued the feet together because I didn't want it moving. That's one thing. We made the back end of a ship that was a failed print again, because there was supposed to be a piece here and this was supposed to go on top, and what happened was in the file there was a screw up. Don't ask me why, but we're going to incorporate that inside of something, whatever you want to call it. We have a couple of mastiffs. We have some rats. Lots of little rats that we printed. These are Star Wars rats. A rib cage, maybe it's a dead rib cage from Rancor with a tail. That's going to we're going to attach that back here. And we have our Luke that we have glued on there. I glued the hands together, skulls, painted it up. Pretty good. Big thank you to my nephew, Ramy, who made me a beautiful tree, which will get incorporated in there. Also, we have a huge double piece of styrofoam. It's going to be a big diorama. Some lines for where we want to put our mountains. We have a kind of a round hole here. We're going to make like a pool. And yeah, so I'm going to get this set up. Let's start out. So the first thing we want to do is we want to tell you our sponsor for all these videos is from Proxon. Proxon sponsored us by donating some of their toolings. I've had this in their videos before, just to make sure that, they're the best products out there to use for crafting. So what I wanted to do, first of all, before we started to glue this up and do any kind of thing, is I know that our base, I don't want that square kind of look rectangular look. We're going to use our Proxon cutter, and all we're going to do, we're going to go in and out, and we're going to make jaggedy edge forms all the way around, like that. I'm going to do the rest of them. I'll show you when I'm done. I got all the sides done. So what I like to do is, because just hot glue or whatever you're using won't keep these together, I added, now you can see I pierced a hole. Doesn't make a difference. It's going to be covered up. These are 12-inch dowels, just your normal dowels that you get from the dollar store. These guys. And what I did was I measured them, and I went half and half, and I stuck them through like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some hot glue. We're going to glue them in there, and then as tightly as we can, get them together. That'll hold. It'll go nowhere. Plus with the hot glue in the center, you'll be okay. All right, I'm going to get that set up. All right. So we hot glued one end in. We're going to do the same thing for the others. Always make sure you got plenty of hot glue on hand. Very important. Hot glue goes fast. So just grouping it everywhere. Test it so it sticks in there. And then we're just going to add some hot glue to the actual styrofoam itself. That will help also stay glued. Doesn't need much. Both ends. Get them in the holes. Put a little bit of pressure on it so it stays. Start to melt together. Won't take long. You're good to go. Now that will ensure that it won't fold or break or whatever. What I'll do is I'll turn it upside down, and I'll add some more in the crack at the bottom, just to ensure that it stays glued. Now also remember, you're going to be adding a lot of paint, Mod Podge, lots of stuff to this. So if you want, with your finger, rub it through. Hold it down for a couple seconds. Enough pressure together, you'll see it oozing out. That's what you want. Now, if you notice that your piece is not even, like this one, you could always take your box on or whatever tool you have, and you can cut it. You see it's out. That will fix up after. So yeah, any kind of little mistakes you made, add a little bit of hot glue to it, fold it in. You'll never see it. This will be the bottom. It's in there. All right. We'll let this dry for a bit. All right. Next, I want to take the pond apart. So I'm just using a sharp knife. And I'm just scoring in some pieces, some squares. Very simple. I went all the way around it. And then all you want to do is sort of lift it. You could use anything. Don't want it too deep because then you're going to use a lot of epoxy. Once this is taken out to the depth that we want, what we're going to do is we're going to add some wood filler. And that's just going to layer the bottom so that when we pour the epoxy, it just doesn't drain through the styrofoam, which it shouldn't, but I always, just precaution. Plus it gives it that brownish kind of muddy look. I'm going to pop this off and I'll be back. All right, next step is we want to do is we want to build the kind of walls, the mountains around the Rancor. Now we don't want to hide the Rancor, but we still have to shape everything out. Never throw your scraps out. Tell you what, you do that, you're wasting money, you're wasting time. You're on a budget like this guy, you use everything, even the stuff that you dug out for the hole, they can be incorporated as rocks. Don't throw anything out. So all we're going to do is we're going to start gluing these pieces together. And all you want to do is put a little bit of hot glue on each piece, like so. And then once you have all these stacked together and glued, then we're going to take our box on and we're going to carve out our mountains. So I'm going to get this all glued together. And you need to see. But I'll show you the process of how I carve it. So just basically, now that it's all glued together, it's hardened, you just kind of make a shape out that you want. Take out whatever tool you have. Now we did a front and the back. So what I want to do is I'm just going to go into it and sort of slice it out. What I have. With that mountainy kind of sharp look. Your hot glue will definitely affect it somehow. Like it just, you run over it. Take the pieces out. You don't save those pieces. Don't throw them out. Okay. And also work on the front part. And all you're going to do is turn this into a big pile of rocky looking mountain. Very simple to do. Let the pieces fall. And then just keep on sculpting it to what you think is the best look. Get it kind of bumpy, jaggedy. Burn yourself. Okay. Get some angles in there. Very important to get angles. I don't want this thing looking just like a piece of styrofoam. Get all those square look pieces off. That's what you're looking for. There's no rhyme or reason to how you do this. It's all in what you see. We're sort of molding it or sculpting it out so it doesn't have all those corner looks and everything. And those flat looks either. That's what you don't want. I give it a little bit of depth and everything. So let's work on this.
All right, guys, we're going to give you a quick, peek of what we're at when we're done. my camera, my phone died, so it's got to go in the charger right away. But we added our rocks to our pool. We have our mountains kind of thing going on. Luke's glued in there good now. He's going to stay there. Next step we're going to do is we'll take the Rancor off, like so. And we are just going to paint and Mod Podge the whole thing. Well, obviously not the stuff that's already glued there. That will make it solid and, you know, ready to add any kind of mud and whatever rocks. We got a lot of stuff we want to add to it because it's got to look like it's kind of dusty and, you know, deserty kind of thing. But anyway, that's where we're at. Like I said, don't be scared to add anything to it. Right now it just looks like a pile of styrofoam on there, but it's gonna look good at the end, I hope. All right, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. At least, you know, leave a comment if you want. This will be part 1 of the video. Really appreciate you guys watching. We'll get on to part 2 as soon as this thing charges. Yeah, and we'll upload another video. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Choose your own path.